This is called the coda, the bowl, and this is called the heart plank, the resonating sheet. This is called the bridge of the veena. The brass piece and the steel string, they strike each other. We call this as langar. There is a tala bridge. These are tala strings. Then these are the main strings. This is the sarane, anusarane. This is mandara shadja, mandara panchama. These are frets, and this is a combination of wax portion which we call mela. So these are the steps, just like guitar has 24 frets. Of course, guitar is a reincarnation of veena in a modern style, or innovated veena, I can say. So the strings are tied to the pegs, just like violin, and then there are 4 pegs here as the main. These are the tala pegs. All are wood. None of them are machine made. All are hand carved. Now coming to a point where these are plastic, decorative part. The veena as in made out of wood, but these are decorative parts just to give a beauty to eyes as well. You have 2 octaves as a fret, harmonics. Like, for example, this is 1 octave. Sa sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa. This is 1 octave. The next octave follows like So this is like, as I was telling, the frets or the mela. So these are the different parts, and last is this burde, what we call the left support. This is generally nowadays made out of fiber by default, whether it's a Tanjore veena, Mysore veena, any veena. The left support is burde or burudai, what they call, is made out of fiber by default. Now the pegs. So this is a loose string, as you see. Can you get? This is a loose string. So when you tighten the pegs here, the peg, I am tightening the peg, just pushing a little and a little tightened, then a little more. So this is how you try to tune a veena, though everything has to be learned from a teacher. Idea about tuning is what this is. So shadja, the second string is always panchama, which is like pa. So I know one has to have an idea of music to understand this giant instrument. There's a lot of things in a veena. It also represents our body, which is another subject. To start explaining, it takes a lot of time. But otherwise, a guru is necessary to understand and perceive this. You should have only one thing called interest to perceive. Now, another subject here I would like to mention. Please consider a good veena when you start your musical interest, a hobby, please do not consider, I want a cheaper veena, I want a just beginner's veena. Three things matter one need to understand before getting into the subject called not only veena, any musical instrument. Three things matter. One is the teacher who influences the learner. They might influence positively, maybe unseen negatively also, wherein if they don't teach properly, the student loses the interest without knowing the reason. Second is, of course, the instrument. If the instrument doesn't motivate your interest, it's quite obvious you lose interest and you get apart. Third is the environment, the support from the family. Maybe parents want to induce music to their children, a traditional. It might be a guitar as well, or a violin, or a harmonium, saxophone, anything. The parents' interest, maybe the spouse's interest. They present a guitar to the spouse or a veena to who would have learned before in their childhood, a husband presenting it to his wife to regenerate the interest and the tradition as well. Please, I would request, consider a proper veena which can initiate an interest of to learn better. So if you buy, for example, again a subject called veena, if you buy a very cheaper one, now I don't say a cheaper veena, a veena which doesn't sound that resonatively. When you play something, you should get that wow out of it. Like when you play like so when you play that jhenkara or the jhenkar or resonance which rings and rings and rings, that will motivate the user to play it more and more, and thus over a longer period they might become a good vainika or vidhushi or vidwan. They might perceive it as their real performing art. So when I get an inquiry of, we are just a learner, why should we buy an expensive one? Well, the expensiveness of an instrument depends on the wood used, the luthier or the craftsman who is making it, and a good combination of the raw material and the craftsmanship results in a good instrument. Of course, he deserves his price for the individual product, but you will have to select which can motivate your interest. So please consult a couple of people, no matter it might take a little delay, but consider buying a proper instrument which will initiate your interest towards the instrument or towards the art, which will motivate you to perceive it more and more or use it more and more. The second-hand instruments is another concern here. Used instruments, second-hand instruments. In general, it's not that easy to get a properly made. The used instrument should be used daily. It's not that you've kept it aside for 2 decades and it'll sound good. No, it cannot be so. It's just like violins, fiddles. Veena is also, it has to be used for at least 40 years, 50 years. In a way, musical way, it has to be used. Maybe like daily is the best part. At least thrice a week is reasonably good. Weekends is there, they use. But if it is kept aside, again, that veena is equal to a new veena, because the nada part has to be redone in it. Again, that person who does the mela work or the nada part, he has to do it properly to to get the proper resonance. Now, if he is not working the proper way, then again it's a muted veena. It cannot ring properly. So the second hand veenas you get two ways. One is a completely useless, which has been not used, which is like broken, rejoined, repaired, restored. So those, it's just equal to a new veena because the whole mela and the nada work is done the same. Of course, in old veenas, we have seasoned bowl, agreed. But it's very rarely known that how old is the veena, or whether it's been jointed, patched work, or it's been damaged and reworked, restored. So there are so many confusions one goes through when you're buying a new veena. So it's better consult a couple of good craftsmen or even teachers, play it and see up till your knowledge, or ask the person of the shop to play it and show you. Do that homework, and I'm sure the veena goes to the deserving. Thank you very much. Namaste.